Why have you demolished your house? You okay, Eleonora? Just stood there. About as much use as a red light in Grand Theft Auto, but she can stay if she wants. She seems happy enough. And that's going to give us plus 44 a month. So this is a much more effective way of making money for the game. And previously everything was pretty much tied into market stalls, so your economy was built on fish and berries, which sounds like a policy of Liz Truss, I realise, given recent real-life events, but it's a lot more realistic for the game now. I'm quite happy with it. Hello people, and welcome to Foundation. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's been a long time since we checked out this game, and it has had a huge new update. It's 1.9 release, and I will leave all these patch notes and stuff down in the description below. If you want to find out exactly what has changed with Foundation, it is a considerable amount. They've kind of really overhauled the progression system, the way you kind of make money, and the way the game plays in general. So really worth checking out again. So we're going to dive into a new game here today, and let's go for Coastal. I think last time we played Mountain, did we? Or Valley, I think. So anyway, we'll go for Coastal this time. Let's go ahead and see what's changed, shall we? So we will leave the advice on whilst we're playing the new update and stuff. Yes, so let's go ahead and purchase a new territory. So there's a few places across this map where we can start. By the looks of it, there's also a little spot down here. I think this one on the coast is screaming out to me though. It's got some stone and berries, so let's go ahead and grab this one. So first of all, of course, we want to build the village centre. So I really enjoyed playing this game last time. You guys were immensely helpful with all the advice and stuff and whatnot too. And yeah, really looking forward to just spend a bit more time in Foundation. It is quite a fun game. Cool, okay, so we want to build a builder's workshop next, of course. Let's go ahead and get this down. One of the best things about Foundation as well is how, like, it's such an organic little city builder. There's not much control over the way kind of things grow. It's very much just zoning and letting the little Foundation people here, which we've missed their dead eyes. The lack of eyelids in this game is extremely unsettling. But either way, we'll assign a builder, so let's go for 3 of them. We're going to want them straight away. And then we'll grab the lumber camp too. Let's go ahead and throw this in and around some sort of forested area. And then we're going to want to paint an extraction zone for that as well, of course. So let's do that now while we're here. So let's come and chop down all these trees. And I guess you can come up onto this hill as well. So kind of, again, similar to cities and pretty much every city builder, to be fair, because we want to keep our sort of dirty industry away from where the people are eventually going to be living. So we'll mark all these berries, stone and trees up for extraction. Tremendous. Let's pop our game on 3 speed too. So yeah, there's a new like taxation system in the game now. There's also these little milestones that you have to hit. Very interesting. So the game just wants us to build a lumber camp. And there we go. There it is. So we'll add 3 woodcutters into that. Yep, so now we have to produce some berries. Let's go ahead and get the gathering hut up near these little stack of berries over here. Put that down. It's going to take 10 wood for us to build. Doesn't sound like too much, I don't think. And then, yes, we've painted our extraction area, haven't we? Yes, we have. Yep, we've done that one. Thank you very much. So yeah, we'll see them tread the little paths as they walk in here. And this is like the most unique thing about Foundation for me. It's really cool. That's why it's the simple things, isn't it? Just a little trodden pathway where you don't get to decide where it goes. Really adds a unique spin onto a little game like this, doesn't it? Cool, so we'll get the berries there soon as well, hopefully. These guys are all just knocking about on free time, I'm guessing, unemployed. Yes, that's because we don't have you employed, because there is nowhere for you to work at the minute. Hopefully that will change. There we go. There's the foragers. Let's go for 3 of those for right now. Hopefully these guys should head over. Yes, there we go. They've got the little uniforms on. And they walk through. They do walk through the trees, but they will eventually be cut down, of course. There we go. Tremendous. So they're going to come up and start harvesting our berries together. Wonderful news. Fantastic. Yes, sure, let's hear some advice. So we want to build a granary to assign a new transporter and then assign the berries to that granary. That sounds easy enough. So let's have this. I want to kind of form like a town centre around here, if you will. So I think the granary is going to be quite a nice addition into that, isn't it? It's sort of close to where the market stalls will eventually be. And then of course the houses as well, so they're keeping everyone nice and happy. We're going to want a stonecutter's camp as well to build the granary, so we'll throw this up near where the stone is. Then we've only got one unemployed worker left, so once the granary and the stone cutters are built, we're going to have to take a woodcutter or a berry gatherer, but for the time being, until those are built, we can just hang around and watch it grow. Superb, so the stone cutter's been built. Let's go ahead and throw the stone cutter, or at least one of them onto there. Should only need one for right now, I think. And then that stone will gather, and then we can complete the granary. Okay, so this is running with all the pace of a tranquilized mattress, so we're going to remove one of our foragers and tell them to become a miner, just so we can get some stone a little bit quicker, because we're sort of overproducing berries a little bit in the minute. Cool, so yeah, that gives us 2 miners, which should hopefully speed up the process of the granary now. And finally, there we go, that took a long time indeed. Right, so let's go ahead and remove a woodcutter. Let's set him to be a transporter. And then we also want to assign berries to be stored at the granary as well. That's going to complete our quest. And give us 100 gold. Very nice. Cool. So we need to buy new territory. Alright, let's go ahead and do that then. So I guess this little hexagon here is going to make the most sense, isn't it, to expand into. Let's go for that one then. And then we need to define some residences, which of course is dictated by our residential painting tool here. So let's just sort of gather all this up here. I just realised there's some further berries on the edge of the forest there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we actually get them into the extraction area. And just let's trim back that residential area a little bit. There we go. You can imagine how city skylines would look with a zoning system like this, right? Okay, so we need to build a well. That's easily done. Let's have a well. So this is really going to boost desirability. So why don't we have this here? And we want to build 2 wells perhaps? Maybe one up on the hill up here as well, just so it boosts desirability a little bit more. I think we will. I think we'll do that. Okay. So then we also need to build a little market stall as well. I do enjoy these little things. So we want to place down the little market post first, I guess. I'd ideally like it towards where it's kind of centered around all of the houses, so it does give them a desirability bonus. So I'm going to go for here, actually. So this is different now, the way we sort of create these little sub-buildings. We need to select the function first, so we want to say this is the market stall, and then we can add the little sort of stall onto it here. So let's go for that one. The market tent, we do have 5 linen at the minute. Sure, why not? Let's go for a tent. Can't say no to a bit of detailing. I'll build that up there too. Tremendous, wonderful. So let's just have a little analysis of our worker distribution here. So we've got 3 builders. That's pretty much what we want, isn't it? Of course, we'll get some more unemployed builders once we get some immigration coming in. Hopefully for right now, this should do it. Once we assign berries to that market stall anyway. But I do just love Foundation. It's usually though these sorts of like cel-shaded cartoony style games, I can't usually last too long with them. I kind of get bored. But there is something about Foundation. Is it the art style? The animations? I'm not sure. It's just super pretty. Really fun game to play. Can't recommend Foundation enough, guys, if you haven't picked it up. And I'm just looking for a new little settlement survival or city builder game. Away from the traditional sort of remit of maybe City Skylines or Farthest Frontier. Yeah, it's a fun one. Definitely recommend checking it out. If you enjoy watching it, chances are you're going to enjoy playing it as well. Cool, so we built the well. That's tremendous. We got the well over here now. And then people's yards are starting to spring up, and we should hopefully have our little market stall over here in and amongst the residences too. Yeah, so you've got all the demand. There's not too much reason for you to complain. Now we can see the desirability is much higher over here near the well. Hopefully once that market stall gets built, that'll throw it up too. So there's been some really big changes. We have a look at our progression. All this is brand new, and we need to pay to unlock the warehouse now. And there's a new prosperity system, which is a number which is accumulated as a sum of all of these sort of factors down below. So commerce, territory, wealth, population, splendor, and beautification. So actually detailing the city has an impact on it. It's going to increase the prosperity, which is very much up my street, I have to say. Right? If there's one thing that pleases Overcharged Egg, it's quite literally effective detailing. So if people like the bushes, then they shall have more bushes. But we can watch our little residential area grow up here. This is very nice. Very cool. And yeah, it's just waiting for the market to be done. So once this is done, we can carry on with our little introduction here. I also love that the fruit and veg is like actual part of the building itself. It's like that they're not even selling it. It's like it's crucial to the the structure of the building. If the fish isn't there, then it all falls apart. Wonderful. Hopefully it's coming up to done now. Should be nearly done once Griminasa actually builds it. What a horrendous name. Okay. Cool. So let's come back into our workers and what don't we need at the minute. These foragers are probably overproducing, so let's tell one of them to become a market tender. And then we want to assign resources to this as well, which has been done. Wonderful. And now we just need to encourage immigration, which is done by raising the village happiness to 100. It's currently at 63%. Hopefully that forager is coming over to tend the market stall. We did just ask her to be one, didn't we? Yes, we did. You are working apparently. Are you? Yes, you are. Wonderful. Cool. So he's going to start selling berries to the population. There he goes. And now it's just a case of waiting for this little figure up here to hit 100%, which it will do of its own accord once you've got this base kind of starting frame down of a well in a marketplace. So we'll be back once we hit 100 happiness, and then we can see what else is happening around our little village as it grows. And there is 100% villager happiness. Fantastic. So let's see what they want now. So we need to acquire a warehouse. So this is one of the things that's changed now. So previously the warehouse was just available as a starting building, but now we need to pay it, or we need to buy it as part of the common path progression under a quiet town. So we can pay 50 gold to unlock it. Let's go ahead and do that. And then it will now appear within our building menu. So it's a negative desirable building, indicated by the red circle, so we don't really want it near the houses. Let's see if we can do a little bit of foundation fusing. See if we can put it alongside the back of the granary. Maybe there. That's going to take 10 stone to build. Then after that we need to assign planks to the warehouse. So planks are done via the sawmill, which we don't have yet. And again, it's a negative desirable building. Why don't we put this maybe up near the sort of production stuff? It might be quite nice. It's a little bit of a harsh terrain boundary, but Foundation doesn't care about the gradient, thankfully. That's good for me, at least. Alright, so the lumber camp now is a little bit sort of out of the way. Might want to sort of put this over here now, maybe. So let's do that. Let's delete this lumber camp. And then we'll build a new one. Let's go for this one here. Yes, just come and chill out here, and then you can clear out all of this area, which we can now amend our extraction zone. Let's just go ahead and remove this stuff off of here. Wonderful. So we have 2 new immigrants. Fantastic. That's going to give us 2 more workers. So what are we not producing that much of at the minute? Wood is an issue, but we are using wood to build. So once this lumber camp does get constructed, we should be able to add in some more woodcutters. Berries are okay. We could possibly do with another stone cutter, or a miner, I guess. I guess the stone cutter is the one that turns it into polished stone, isn't it? Cool, are you alright? What are you doing? Why have you demolished your house? You okay, Eleonora? Just stood there. About as much use as a red light in Grand Theft Auto, but she can stay if she wants. She seems happy enough. Cool, so wait for our new buildings to be built. So the lumber camp has been built. Let's go back to 3 woodcutters, adding those new immigrants that have just come into the town. These guys should hopefully start coming, trimming all this woodland back now as well. And our warehouse is missing its planks, which is fine. We're actually going to have to save a worker, actually, aren't we? For the sawmill. So let's just arrange that now. Let's see what we're overproducing on. There is only 1 forager left, but she's still producing a fair amount of berries. I guess Eleonora, yeah, she can just, well, she will become a sawmill person. A sawyer, I believe they're called, once this has the wood that it needs. We have another newcomer, fantastic. Great, so you actually have to come and click on them in the village centre now, when they arrive, which we didn't have to do before, I don't think. I don't think that was part of the game, was it? It just sort of came in, but it's nice that you get a little notification now, just so they don't kind of go unnoticed. So, are these building a new house? Was this house here before? Looks like a new house. It looks bigger, doesn't it? Tier 1, House Destiny 2. Or Density, not Destiny. Okay, so it's just high density, I guess, then. And tremendous, the sawmill has been built, and we did have 2 new immigrants over the course of that break, so both of those can come in to become sawyers, which is fantastic. So there's also Village Aspirations, which is a new feature with the 1.9 update. So Village Aspirations are optional objectives that can be completed on your own terms while you manage the village. Track the ones you're interested in, pursuing them to add to your list of quests. Okay. So yeah, there's just a bunch of ones that you can choose from. Some are hard, apparently. And you can see sell at least 100 swords to trade routes over 30 days. That's like late game yet, we're nowhere near that at all. And then we can reach a prosperity of 500. We're only on 4 at the minute. So, sure. Why don't we track that? And see what happens. I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of reward for doing that. You would hope anyway. Hopefully it's not a fruitless labour. Here we go, here she goes. So she's bobbing to a little beat there, doesn't it? That sway with her little sword. Oh, it's such a very cutely animated game. Love how the asset snaps to the terrain as well, that's very nice. The awkward concrete boundary on it. Okay, cool. But these are going up now, and these should hopefully come and feed the eventual construction of the warehouse. But we have a new villager on the way, apparently. So yeah, the maps are really cool in Foundation. If you're interested in getting involved in the Steam workshop as well, there is custom maps and a lot of different mods and new assets that you can get for the game. So it's very much kind of open to expansion through the workshop if that's something that you're interested in. You can really expand your experience here when you play Foundation. Sounds looking pretty cute from up on the hill here now, though. I'm thinking we're going to maybe build the manor house again, which was kind of a regular building you would just throw down at the start of the game, but we don't do that anymore. I'm assuming we're going to unlock it through here somehow, where we'll get the bailiff office and the wooden bridge, which we don't really need yet. Okay, and then we get the busy, flourishing, lively. And each of the little kind of clergy, labour and kingdom sort of factions, if you like, these do get their own sort of buyable items, if you like, in this kind of menu here. Cool, that's 2 new immigrants. Welcome in, hello. Yeah, so they're bringing 2 planks now. That's going to be the warehouse done, hopefully. It is a slow burn Foundation. It is, but it's fun, you know. It's one of those games you can just sit back and watch. There's no particular pressure in Foundation, so to speak. It's not like anything goes disastrously wrong. Apart from not fulfilling your quests or your soldiers dying. It's a little bit more chill than something like Farthest Frontier was. And finally, the warehouse is built. Cool, so let's add 1 person onto it, and then it wants us to store planks in here. Right, we'll also add wood to be stored here too, alongside stone. Wonderful. So now we have a trade route. So unlock a trade route to trade planks. So let's come into our book. Let's have a look at economy. Or not resources. Trade routes. Here we go. Okay, so we can unlock the first trade route with Northbury. They're going to want 20 planks, aren't they? Okay, that's fine. That will come in a second. It's 20 bread and then 20 clothes. So unlock the other one, for which we're not really near them yet. So we'll have to bear with. But what is he wanting to sell us? Cloth is going to be useful for building certain buildings. There's also common wares now as well, which I don't remember being part of Foundation previously. Guessing that's like cups and bowls and whatnot. Common wares for people to use around the village. Not too bad. We do have an unassigned worker. I'm a little bit wary with the berry situation, perhaps, with the village growing. So let's add that back into the forager's hut. Or gatherer's hut, sorry. And then these guys should hopefully be about to produce next. Oh, is that another immigrant? Yes, there we go. Wonderful. Yeah, you come and work in the sawmill as well. And hopefully once we get that next sawmill here, next plank, although my planks did just disappear. Am I using planks to build? I don't think I am. And then we want to allow the sale of planks from the trade resources tab. Wonderful. Okay, so come into resources, and then we want to come to planks, and then we want to sell all of the above value, and let's keep 30 planks at all times for ourselves. Anything above 30 will be sold to the trade route. Okay, wonderful. Now we get the quest to build a manor house. We need to add a great hall. Assign tools to a warehouse is optional. Then we can allow tools purchased from the trade resources also optional. Okay, so let's do that then. Let's allow the warehouse to store some tools. Then we'll come back into our trade routes, and then we want to buy until the inventory reaches the value. Let's make sure we keep at least 10 in stock at all time. Then hopefully that trade route, yes, he is selling them for 8 gold. And he's buying planks. He's also buying berries too. That's fine then. We could sell him some berries, I suppose, but it's kind of our only food source at the minute, so it's probably not a good idea. We'd probably just sell the planks. We should be able to produce enough of them. There's a new villager on the way as well. Happiness has dropped to 90%. That's okay though. We'll be alright. Okay, so we want to build a manor house next. Let's go ahead and I'd like to unlock a new tile if possible. Is that going to be too dangerous? I don't think it is it? Let's go for it anyway. We only live once, right? So I think the manor house will look really cool, kind of facing down onto the water here. So why don't we go for that? So let's place that there. So we want to go for a great hall as the main function, and then let's grab this rustic hall here. I can't really see it in the trees though. It's the same on all sides, is it? Yes, it is. Let's have this here. Out in the middle. We will give it a door that faces out onto the front. We also need to add the interactive location as well. This place is where visitors patiently wait until you decide to hear them. Okay. Yeah, just come and wait at the front then, I suppose. Cool. And then we can build the Great Hall here. So administers the villagers' mandates and receives envoys. Wonderful. Allows you to prepare complete mandates. Allows you to promote villagers to higher status. Cool. So we can select a mandate already, although it does require the bailiff, which of course we don't have at the minute. And we should already get that little walking pathway there. It's a little bit annoying, the market's kind of right in the way. that's my fault, isn't it? Oops. Okay, request an audience. Do you all want to come in, do you? Well, we're going to need to buy the bailiff office, aren't we? As part of the prosperity thing. So we'll just see how that turns out anyway. Hopefully this should start growing up over here now too. Tremendous. So we've got some new immigrants coming in. Let's make sure we continually add these into some sort of worker capacity. Let's add another transporter into the warehouse as well. Alongside another transporter for the granary. Which should hopefully keep things a little bit more well stocked. We are losing money at the minute. Due to trade apparently. Okay, I guess it's just because we're buying tools, isn't it? Okay, with that in mind then, I'm actually going to come in and say, just buy up to the value of 8 tools, because we don't really need any more than that at the minute, and it seems to be hurting the economy. And then hopefully we're selling all the above value for planks once they do come into trade with us. Fantastic. And now we just want to wait for the Great Hall to be built here, where we can select a mandate for it. So it looks like we can... Yeah, so this is really good. So previously you had to wait until like the end of the month to kind of promote villagers up to serfs and commoners and whatnot. But it seems you don't have to do that anymore. You can do it direct from the manor house, which is really helpful because that was a bit of a pain beforehand. Cool, wonderful. So now we have the Great Hall. And then, so improve your manor house with the tax office and assign a tax collector. So this is definitely new. Let's go into edit building. We're going to add a tax office, and this will be a wooden hall on the side of the estates, perhaps. Let's go for that. All right. Let's have that one there. Cool. And then we can add a tax collector into it eventually. What else do we also want to do here? We don't have the bailiff at the minute. Yeah, and we can improve the manor house with the tax office by assigning a tax collector. That is currently being done. I haven't realised I've kind of built this in trees. I was hoping to kind of clear out and leave a little bit of a natural tree barrier around the edge of it. Are you a tradesperson? Yes, you are. Wonderful. Just going to buy berries, stone, and other stuff that we don't have at the minute. Okay, but that seems to stabilise the economy by not buying tools all the time. So that's good. Cool, yeah, and then once this has been done, yeah, we can see them. Up here now, it's a little bit underwhelming. So I guess I need to maybe put a lumber camp over here just to clear a little bit of the forest, but as we expand the manor house, it will clear itself, of course. Wonderful. You new worker? Yes, you are. Tremendous. Wonderful. Lots of people coming in. I'm wary that perhaps these berries aren't really sustaining the population anymore, though, so I think I'm going to throw in another gatherer's hut over here. Although we can't build it because it does want 20 gold to build. Hopefully that's not too far away from coming in. We'll hang off on that one. I want to make sure that we're not going to be running out of lumber anytime soon either, because I guess we could just mark this out as extraction, right? When they eventually want to go over here. I don't really want to build a second lumber camp for them. At least not yet. Cool. So we'll wait for that tax collector extension to be built and then just let the economy take over. And the tax office has been built. That's amazing. Okay, so let's add a tax collector in. Then what does it want now? New advice can be heard. The aspiration of a village. Finally, by yourself in the Great Hall, you spend a few minutes of silence thinking about your aspiration and the future of your village. Providence has been good to you and your people so far, and it seems like everything is possible. We should all aspire to greatness. Okay, wonderful. Take a stroll through the village and look at what you achieved. Not so long ago this land was wilderness, but you came along. Okay. Cool, wonderful. Great. We follow the advice. We do have more advice here. Oh, a message from the kingdom. Recognise your efforts, establish your settlement. Cool, they want to give us 100 gold, that's fine. And then we get advice favouring an estate. Your village has caught the attention of 3 estates of the realm and they expect you to build monuments to their splendour. Such constructions will undoubtedly define the future of your people. They will wonder which of your kingdom cleared your labourers you will oblige first. Okay, so the manor house, rustic church, or the kingdom. The churches are pretty fun to build, so I think we'll go for those guys first. Okay, so profit from taxation. It seems our treasury is a little low on coins these days. Some of us believe you could increase taxes for a little while. At least until the treasury is back in shape. Okay. So let's increase the tax rate, shall we? Let's see exactly how we can do this. So if we come into our book, maybe go to economy and then taxes. So it's going to break it down by which group of people to apply taxes to. How that tax rate impacts their happiness by negative 10%. Okay, so we definitely want to keep it in the green, I think, don't we? And that's going to give us plus 44 a month. So this is a much more effective way of making money for the game. And previously, everything was pretty much tied into market stalls, so your economy was built on fish and berries, which sounds like a policy of Liz Truss, I realise, given recent real-life events, but it's a lot more realistic for the game now. I'm quite happy with it. Cool, so we've raised our taxes up a little bit. We do have some new people arriving into the village. That's tremendous. We can't afford to build a second berry hut now, which is great. And then we want to build a rustic church, do we? Okay, so I think a church would be quite cute over here, right? Can we put it on the beach or maybe up and out here? I think I probably want to save the beach for some sort of fishing production, don't I? But let's not do that yet. Let's go ahead and start the church at least before we kind of wrap up today's episode. Don't really know where I want it, to be fair. It's kind of an awkward one to place. How about over here? We're not really doing much with this area anymore, so let's go ahead and drop this church in. We'll get the main building. Give it humble door, whatever that means. And then a wooden bell tower, which we need 6 tools to build, which should be alright. Can we... So we can place this and then actually increase it, can't we? Okay, yeah, so let's add the wooden bell tower on. And that should be alright for right now, just for the size of the village we have. We'll have a little church out here. Wonderful news. Cool, yeah, so we're building the rustic church. We don't have the monthly profit for taxation yet, just because there's not that many people to tax, it would seem. Okay. Has this berry hut been built yet? Could probably do with maybe another builder's workshop at this point, just because things seem to be taking quite a long time to be built. But we seem to be making money. We're getting decent supply in. Well, definitely better supply of food once this berry hut is gathered. Or been built, rather. You don't gather the berry hut itself, right? Gathering hut's been built. There we go. Okay, yeah, so let's add a few more workers. I guess we've got 3 spare workers. We might as well have them all coming to hammer the berries. Wonderful. And then just as we get buildings now that are slightly bigger, we can add them in and around here, hopefully. Yes, we'll, we'll definitely clear the view to the Lord's Manor up here, I think, hopefully, because it's a little bit underwhelming at the minute, isn't it? So can we also add in the treasury over here as well? Let's add another extension onto the side. Then that will allow us to store more money, having a treasury on the side of here too. Although we are now starting to burn through the tools again, for which we should be buying up to 8 tools at a time though through the trade route, which is fine, I guess. We just need to wait for those traders to come in. The little church is getting built now as well. It's a very satisfying game to just sit and watch its foundation. Very fun. This is really fun. Cool. This is going up. Everyone seems to be happy. Yeah, so here we go now. If we have a look at the progression tab now, we'll see that it's broken down into labour, where we can get a Manor House Splendor package, which will give us a bunch of unlockables for the Manor House, also Market Splendor, and then a hedge as well, which is represented by a stone wall. Get blue market tent. Okay, and you can see as you go up in prosperity, and then the influence, splendor, and rating of each of these factions, you will just move through all of these buildings. So it's a lot more kind of obvious in the progression now, and I really kind of like that. It's a really nice rework, Foundation 1.9, guys. If you haven't played it, really recommend you go and pick it up. We are going to leave the episode here. We definitely will cover more of this. I want to keep exploring more of 1.9, and we'll just keep building out on this map together over a little short sort of mini-series. And if you guys are enjoying it, we can keep it going longer. But please let me know what you think of Foundation. If you've played it before, let me know what you think of the changes that have been made in 1.9. If you haven't played it for a while, I'll leave a link down to kind of the patch notes below, so you can check it out. But otherwise, we will come back to this series and carry on building up and exploring the update together. But I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.